Today, we have an opportunity not often available and even less often acted upon.
An opportunity that can change the lives of tens of millions of Americans
and to move us closer to establishing what our forefathers called a more perfect union.
Today, legislation sits in Congress that would reshape and rebuild our current healthcare system, one that is broken and flawed, and one that leaves millions of Americans out in the cold.
We have the opportunity to step up and no longer accept the irresponsible and untrustworthy actions of the health insurance industry.
We can finally halt their abuses and extend the right to healthcare to all American families.
Doing nothing is not an option.
Every day, 14,000 Americans lose their health coverage.
and it's becoming increasingly difficult and expensive to get it back.
If you want to see who's affected by the lack of dependable coverage in this country, just look around. They're your teachers, your parents, your coworkers, your children.
They aren't irresponsible or destitute, and there is nothing wrong with them.
They are average, everyday Americans trying to recognize their share of the American dream.
Today, we need reform that will cap the spiraling costs of healthcare.
Reform that will ensure coverage to all Americans.
Reform that won't leave you stranded without somewhere to turn in a time of need.
A public option will do just that. It's not a government takeover of medicine, but an option for those who need it or want it.
If you have private health insurance, you can keep that coverage.
But for the millions of Americans who cannot afford insurance or who have been denied coverage, a public option will give them and their families an opportunity to receive quality care when they need it.
Saying that we care about each of our fellow Americans is not enough. We need to act for them.
This is our challenge, to continue fighting for the equality and economic stability of all American families.
If all Americans are created equally, if all of us are endowed with certain rights,
then we cannot leave 46 million of them out in the cold. We must fight for them.
Health insurance companies have turned windfall profits because no one has checked them, and now we must.
Don't listen to lies about government takeovers or skyrocketing premiums because they're false.
They're false. Healthcare reform will protect all of us. There will mean no more pre-existing conditions to deny or void coverage. It will mean no more mountains of medical costs. It will mean that all Americans will have an option to turn to.
Politicians, Democrats and Republicans, must be held accountable.
We can't allow them to mislead the public. If they do so, we need to call out their lies.
The only death panels in health coverage are the insurance companies that deny you insurance or void your coverage when you get sick.
And we need to put an end to it.
We have to tell them how we feel. Flood their inboxes with emails, their voicemails with messages, and we need to write them, urging them to do the right thing.
This is what you can do, and this is what we can all do.
You can call Congress at 202-224-3121 and urge them to pass a health reform bill with a public option because the American people need it.
There are almost 50 million uninsured Americans in this country, and it's unacceptable.
And it will remain unacceptable until every single one of us has an option for health insurance coverage.
We must tell our representatives that we put in office that we didn't argue for them, canvass for them.
Donate to them or vote for them, just to now see them do nothing.
They have to decide whether to say yes to healthcare reform for America or yes to insurance corporations, because they can't for both.
we want insurance companies to do what we pay them to do, to care for us when we're sick.
We want every working American to be able to go to a doctor when they need and not face thousands of dollars in medical costs.
We want a public option to provide efficient, effective, low-cost health coverage for any American who wants it.
We want a public option to provide insurance companies with competition. Because isn't competition what America's all about?
This is not about government takeovers.
This is about government stepping in to protect each of its citizens.
We have voices, and now today we must use them.
Our president has called this a defining struggle, and we need to step up and meet his challenge.
We can do it.